Hello, Lucky Sean here, ready to walk you through one of Professor Bulba's epic Sailor Moon fact videos. Today's topic is taking an in-depth look at how the anime got Americanized, aka how DiC took every ounce of Japanese culture they could out of Sailor Moon. Keep in mind that this only applies to the Queen Beryl arc of the English version. Let's start by looking at something rather strange. For some reason, DiC decided to edit out sweat drops. You know, the sweat drops that happen out of pure awkwardness. Apparently, DiC decided that sweating is not an American thing, which may explain the high obesity rates. But that's a whole other different topic, so let's get back to our favorite fat person, Sailor Moon.
I'm a total fatso!
DiC decided to edit out several Japanese associated gimmick gestures, including sweat drops, chibi devils, bowing, and sticking tongues out. Yes, unbeknownst to many, every time you stick your tongue out, you're actually pledging allegiance to Japan. Lucky for us, growing up during Sailor Moon airings, DiC saw through this and took a preemptive strike by cutting these scenes. But seriously, DiC, tongues? Tongues or Japanese? Then how do you explain French kissing? As mentioned in the last video, Sailor Moon's real name is Usagi Tsukino, which is a homophone for the phrase rabbit in the moon. Some Asian cultures have a myth about a rabbit on the moon pounding rice cakes. Amazingly, this folklore wasn't cut from Dragon Ball Episode 9, when young Goku sends a rabbit villain to the moon to do just that.
I took them to the moon. I told them that if they made enough rabbit treats for all the kids on Earth, I might let them come back down. It should keep them busy for a while.
Rabbit treats?
What? Don't you like marshmallows?
Yet, it was cut from Sailor Moon, which seems odd since she is the Moon Princess. DiC decided to be dicks and take out those references altogether, which is a shame since there are many puns played off her name that the English viewers never got to see. Usagi at one point legitimately thinks there are rabbits on the moon. This airheadedness only added to her character, but again the English viewers were deprived of this brilliance. Other strategic cuts that DiC made include removing any evidence of Japanese syllabary in newspapers, books, posters, and school signs, and even bus stops. This apparently was an attempt at making the anime feel less foreign, and therefore more appealing to the audience. They even went so far as to horizontally swap images so that the bus drivers were on the correct side, in order to keep with the continuity of this anime having a North American feel to it. There were never any banned episodes of Sailor Moon, rather only complete cut episodes. As for why they were cut, only the brilliant minds at DiC in the 90s shall ever really know. Well, there are speculations. In episode 2, yes, the very second episode was cut on the North American lineup, Melvin ends up going badass. He decides that he wants to marry Serena and thinks accomplishing this will be as easy as beating a video game. He later decides that he is badass enough to flip the teacher's skirt up and then vandalize the school. Badass? More like dumbass. Episode 5 was cut as well based on the actual content of the episode. It doesn't make sense as why it would be. This episode has two neat things in it. One, Serena's younger brother Sammy being afraid of Luna, and even kicking Luna. And two, a unique attack that is never seen again, Moon Tiara Stardust. There's also an episode 6, where Serena uses her disguise pen to look old enough to go into a bar in order to stalk some guy. This was actually hilarious. Knowing she's not old enough to actually drink alcohol, she tries to order a cream soda.
ご注文はお決まりでしょうか？
クリームソーダ。
ええ。申し訳ございません。当店にはそのようなものは。
そう。じゃあいらない。
Smooth, Serena. Very smooth. There are a total of 6 cut episodes in the Queen Beryl saga, and countless amount of changed and cut content. Speaking of changed content, let's take a look at the names of their attacks. One thing that completely baffles me is why they would change the names of the Sailor Scouts' attacks and transformations. They're already in English. Why take a good thing and change it? This seems like another case of M. Night Shyamalan syndrome, a condition where you take something great, like Avatar The Last Airbender, and decide to destroy it completely with creative license until you make this once amazing product into an unrecognizable, culturally insensitive abomination. I can only pray that his movie, The Last Airbender, truly is the last of its kind. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, attack names. Now let's compare the Japanese names to their English equivalents. The original version was Moon Tiara Action, which became Moon Shaban Spray turned into Fire Soul is now
Mars Fire! Ignite!
Alright, I like that one. Supreme Thunder got an extra word. Actually, it got an extra word and a switch word, and it became
Supreme Thunder Crash!
always loved Jupiter. Funnily enough, Jupiter seemed to have changed every other episode on a whim. And Crescent Beam was also given an additional word or two and became
Venus Crescent Beam!
One major change is a signature attack of Sailor Mars. In English, we know it as Mars Fireball's Charge, yet note how there's no actual fire at all. What she actually says is Akuyo Taisen, roughly translating into Evil Spirits Be Gone, and throws an Ofuda scroll on her enemy. What's an Ofuda scroll? Well, perhaps that's a topic that can be covered in our next video. And now it's time for Lucky Sean Says. Being you is good, but never good enough. Try changing yourself to please others. It will always win their affection. Have a good thing going on? Why not change it to make it even better? And when you're ready to change something, just remember to completely remold it to remove any trace of its cultural origin. Lucky Sean says, hee hee. Stop. Your suggestions are needed. We plan on doing a fact video about each Sailor Scout individually, and we want to know which Scout you want to see covered first. Also, if you missed it, check out part 1 of our Sailor Moon fact videos. Thanks for stopping by.